So, I spent the last week in the sun in Tenerife, but now it's time to go back to PCM and play some career mode. Now, in our last episode, we rode the first 9 stages of La Vuelta 2026, and somehow we managed to dominate stage 2 with Matthias Kopecky, taking our first stage win. And actually, after 9 stages, Kopecky is in second place in green, so 23 points behind Van Poppel. So I think winning the green jersey is a real possibility. Next to our sprinter, we also tried to go in the breakaway with the likes of Romeo and Omerzel, but never got a stage win. But through those breakaways, Romeo does have the KOM jersey, and also sits in 4th place in GC on a minute 29, so maybe too close to get in the breakaway. Anyway, there's 12 stages left in this Velta, and I think my goals are the following. I want to win a second stage, win the green jersey, try to win KOM, and finish in the top 10 of GC. I know that's a lot, but I think it's possible. And to be honest, our first chance for a second stage win is right here. Stage 10 is a 25k flat time trial, so even Romeo time. Our man is 3rd favorite behind Skelmose and Kampenaerts, but those are not exactly unbeatable time trial lists. So yeah, let's cook them, shall we? There we go, Ivan Romeo in the KOM jersey is on the road. Let's do 85 from the start, and there's a climb at the start here as well, so I want to try and use my red bar on that climb. On the climb 95, I want to spend as much red energy as possible, drop it down to 87, 86, 85 again. And now it's time for the first time check. Let's take a look. First place by 16 seconds on Kampenaerts, so that is good. Ayuso is also passing the first time check in second place on 9 seconds, so this will be close. On to the second time check then, energy not looking fantastic, but still first place, 25 seconds on Kampenaerts. I don't have the time to look at Ayuso. Romeo in the last kilometer as we speak, spending his red energy, so that is good. Perfection, time it to the line, and first place, 20 seconds on Victor, so now it's time to look at Ayuso. Ooh, looks like Ayuso lost time at the second time check on 20 seconds, so I think this one is ours. There it is, in the last kilometer, Ivan Romeo wins the time trial. There we go. Second stage win, connection problem, don't care. Ivan Romeo takes it. That is beautiful. And actually also moving up in GC from 4th place to 2nd place on a minute and 12 seconds of the man himself, Juan Ayuso. But I don't expect to stay that high up in GC, to be honest. Like I said it before the stage started, one of my 4 goals was winning another Vuelta stage, and there we go, we've got it. About 2 videos ago, I spent quite a bit of money to keep Ivan Romeo to extend his contract at our team, and it's definitely worth it. That's his 5th time trial win this season. But I'm quite worried about this screen. Ivan Romeo's fitness is down to 87% after 10 stages of this Vuelta, and he's already very tired, and you can see the red line right here. It simply keeps going up. So yeah, Ivan Romeo will get worse and worse as this Grand Tour goes on. Also, being in 2nd in GC on just about a minute is a downside because Ivan Romeo, for example, on stage 11 is too close to go in the breakaway. Then again, stage 11 is basically a medium mountain Uniperto stage, so a single mountain at the finish, and it's not a hard climb, so I think this will be the peloton. Most likely Juan Ayuso. To be honest, I think I'll go in the break with Kopecky, which might sound weird, but what if I just take the intermediate sprint points and that's my stage? I think that's a pretty solid plan. Okay, that breakaway formed rather quickly with better climbers though, a la Philippe, so I'm hoping the break does not go for the stage win, otherwise Kopecky is definitely not winning. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this breakaway is not winning because Trek is keeping the gap at 2 minutes 20, the 7 riders in the break are working pretty well together though, so I do think we'll make it to the sprint. 1.7k towards a sprint, so Kopecky can start sprinting, and it looks like no one is willing to compete. Actually, some people are starting a sprint, but they're never going to beat me, so Kopecky takes 20 points. That's amazing. As you can see, only 3 points behind now in green. Anyway, still 3 minutes on the peloton, so maybe I should wait with Kopecky on the group of Alaphilippe and try to go for the stage win in the breakaway if the break does make it. But I gotta say, Burgodo looks completely cooked. I think Ariola is as well, so Alaphilippe's the only one in this front group with energy, so this break is not making it. Wait a second, they've already caught me? How? How is that possible? In the span of half a kilometer, and of course, Romeo lost a couple of positions, so he won't be fighting for the stage win either. I am trying to move up the 188, 89, anything with Romeo to try and get anything out of the stage, but 1.8 kilometers to go. We've got an attack by Lenny Martinez on the right side of the road. The big guns are going already. 1.5 kilometers to go. 96, 97. Come on, Romeo. Try to move up, buddy. Try to move up. Do anything you can. Maybe. Still got energy. There goes Perikas. There goes Romeo, but we're gonna come short, I think. Maybe. Oh, I don't think so. I think it's gonna be Ciccone, but that was actually really close. Ciccone wins the stage on Laguna, whatever this climb is called, but we get 3rd and 6th. Gotta say, that's a lot better than I expected. At this point, our team is pretty secure when it comes to UCI points, but getting 3rd and 6th and consistently doing that every single stage is important still because I want to be sure, you know? But no real changes in GC, still in 2nd place on a minute 12 of Ayuso. Okay, I did not expect this, but Ciccone stole our KOM jersey, so I'll have to try to get that back. Most of you know this, but I fell in love with pro cycling through Pro Cycling Manager in 2005. But actual cycling, myself, that started with Zwift. Zwift is the go-to training app to make indoor cycling so much more enjoyable. If you want to try Zwift but you don't have an indoor smart trainer yet, you're lucky because right now you can get 10% off the full Zwift ride and Wahoo Core 2 indoor setup through the link below. But first, it's time for a good old sprint stage, stage 12, completely flat, with Pascal Ackermann as the favorite. But of course, I'll try to win with Matthias Kopetzky and try and close the 3-point gap to Danny van Poppel in green. Because, well, I want that jersey. Oh la la, Matthias Kopetzky with a +2, so 76 sprint, that's looking good. Now, of course, going for green means we have to go for intermediate sprints, and it looks like Van Poppel is planning the same on the right side of the road, so let's try to beat him. Oh, a bunch of ants on the road, lots of trains trying to set up their sprinter, but we're looking pretty okay. 3 kilometers to go, Serrano's ready for a lead out as soon as possible, maybe right now at 2.4 to go. I'll get out of the way with Belocchi, Kopetzky in the wheel of Serrano, and we're not moving up, we're in a terrible position. I'm trying my best, but I should stop sprinting. I'll stop sprinting. This is a waste of energy because Kopetzky is nowhere to be seen and it looks like Van Poppel maybe scored. Yes, he scored points. That is sad. He scored 10 points, so now 13 points ahead. So yeah, we gotta beat him at the finish line. In the last 18 kilometers now, setting up my sprint train, and slowly but surely it is taking shape with Serrano with the least energy, but he should be fine, I think. Perikas doing a pretty fantastic job, but Serrano is losing the wheel of Romeo. Now Omerzel can take over on 99 with 6.7 kilometers to go. That's too early, so let's do 96 for now. Energy gel on Serrano and also Kopetzky, to be honest. 99 on Omerzel. Romeo is ready now. There we go. 3 kilometers to go. Perfect train as we speak. Serrano is ready to launch pretty soon. Right now with 2.1 kilometers to go. Kopetzky in the wheel. Fantastic. Adria in that wheel. 1.3 kilometers to go. There goes Kopetzky. We've got Counter in our wheel, but Van Poppel is not that far behind. Can Van Poppel get to us? Yes! No! He's gonna take it back! Oh, come on! So close! And Van Poppel wins ahead of Kopetzky. That is heartbreaking. Literally D1 man that was not allowed to beat us, but he was simply better. And Matthias Kopetzky had to launch his sprint a little bit too early, and as a consequence, he couldn't survive up there, so 2nd place. And of course, losing even more points to Danny van Poppel, we're now 33 points behind. That's a pretty solid gap now. But onto a completely different problem. Stage 13 is a queen stage to the Col du Tourmalet with 4 massive mountains, and we are on a minute 12 in GC, so Romeo is definitely not going to be allowed to go in the breakaway. And of course, if Romeo can't go in the breakaway, we also can't compete for KOM because these massive climbs are going to go to the break. So I think I'm low-key scrapping the goal of going for KOM, to be honest. My simplistic plan is riding defensively on the stage to keep Romeo in the top 10 of GC. And maybe send Jakob Omerzel into the break for the stage or as satellite rider. Anyway, we'll see in the race. Okay, I gotta pause the game for a second because Romeo starts at the front of the peloton, Omerzel nearly at the back, so getting him in the breakaway will be really difficult. Should I just go with Mr. Ivan Romeo instead, which I know will be difficult because he's only a minute back in GC? I think I will. Let's just go for it. Absolute YOLO. There comes the attack. Fernandez and Romeo going to the breakaway together on the first climb already, because it starts climbing from the get-go. And to be honest, in the peloton, the tempo is led by UAE, but Josome is not exactly pushing, so This might work. The question is, can I send some more riders up the road? Serrano with Omerzel on the right side of the road. There we go. In the meanwhile, Romeo's gonna try and take the KOM points on top here. It's only a fat cat climb, so 3 points, but I'll take it. There we go. Now on 2 points of Ciccone. So, all the riders up the road have merged into one breakaway of 24 riders, including 4 riders from Sirocco 4 Endurance, and on paper, Omerzel with 76 mountain is better than Romeo with 75, but Romeo is in GC, so we have to go for him. And as we speak, the tempo in the peloton is still set by Josom, so the gap is growing to 5 minutes and a half now. This climb is also an out-of-category climb, so it's really worth it to go for KOM, but I also don't want to spend energy on Romeo that I might need later in the stage, so it's a real decision to make. The breakaway is starting to sprint for the points. I'm just trying to pedal my way to the top and stay with the group. I've decided I'm not going to over-focus on KOM unless we can find easy points. I don't think that's gonna be the case. There we go, over the top in just about 10th position, so not many points here. 0 points actually. As you can tell, I'm basically prioritizing the stage and GC over KOM. Okay, Jakob Omerzel is also back in the breakaway, but barely has any energy, but has a descent to recover, so that's good. 2 riders in the break. Anyway, onto the third climb then, the Col du Tourmalet, 10k at about 8 to 9%, so it's actually a pretty hard climb, but I think I'll be able to survive. At least I'm hoping so. I'm trying to spend as little energy as possible, but still stay in the group, so I'm trying to micromanage my effort to 78, 79, now back to 83 to make sure I can follow. 2 kilometers to go, and they're already accelerating, so I'm having to go 95, 93 to try and follow as much as possible. This is not ideal. Omerzel is off the back right now, but Romeo is getting back to the back of the front group, so that is good. 1k to the top, and I'm surviving. There we go, over the Spondel with a 7-minute gap on the peloton, so still looking okay. But I want to try and get Omerzel back, but he's now 2 minutes behind the front of the race, so I don't see it happening. Ooh, Bentala just fell from the breakaway. I just avoided him with Romeo, but man's looking pretty, down. Oh crap, he's out of the race. I think I just laughed at an injured man. Anyway, the Spondel descent is basically done for, still 40 kilometers to go, but the first 15 of that is not exactly climbing. We are in the front group with Romeo and a 8-minute gap now on the peloton, so I'm starting to believe in this breakaway, which... Is there a red jersey on the table for Romeo? Only a minute 12 behind in GC, so virtually in the lead. Also, half the peloton just crashed over Bentolet's body, so there's only a peloton of 22 riders left, which is kinda tiny. But of course, there is still one monster of a climb yet to come. Welcome to the Col du Tourmalet, 18 kilometers, and I'm getting dropped off the back, so let's make sure that does not happen here. We've got lots of riders already accelerating from the start, so that's kinda crazy. And also, by the way, Omerzel is back, so that's fantastic, but holy crap, they've got gaps. That is a minute on Romeo in about half a kilometer. I think the key is gonna be setting my own tempo and gradually trying to get them back, because responding to their attacks is basically going to ruin my energy. So come on, Romeo, gradually get them back. Like, maybe I'm coping, but I feel like they attacked so early on the climb that they're destined to blow up. But then again, the gap is 1 minute 40 to Romeo, which is still protected by Omerzel, and I'm setting my own tempo, which should be good in the long run, but I don't know, I'm kinda scared. Also, the peloton with Landa attacking as we speak is only 4 minutes behind Romeo, but I do still have quite a bit of energy, so that is quite good. Like, I was dreaming of winning the stage on the Col du Tourmalet, but the gap is now 2 minutes 26 to the front of the race, where Lorenzo Fortunato is dropping Carlos Verona, but it's only a 7-second gap, so this battle is not over yet. With 6 kilometers to go, the gap is still 3 minutes plus to Romeo, so am I cooking up a red jersey? Come on, man. Keep flying. Wow, attacked by Martinez and Juan Ayuso in the peloton. And it looks like Martinez has a gap, but Ayuso is closing, and the gap towards me is now 1 minute 30. I'm getting passed by Frigo, Berade, Jan Hirt here as well. Come on, team. I'm calling them a team now, but they're not exactly my teammates. I'm just hoping they help me to keep the gap on Ayuso, which is now 2 minutes again. What is happening? Is he getting dropped? No, he keeps on attacking, but I'm feeling like Romeo's energy is looking pretty bad for about 1.7 kilometers. I need to keep on pushing. Come on, Romeo, into the final kilometer as we speak. Our yellow bar is basically empty. Let's do 68, something like that. For the last kilometer, we've got a winner in Lascano. Mr. Dopey Dope wins ahead of Carlos Verona. We've got ourselves coming in as we speak on, let's say, 85. Is that too much for the last 400 meters? I think that's fine. And the gap towards Ayuso is 2 minutes, and he's gotten dropped. He's gotten dropped by Lenny Martinez, so I think it's happening. I think it's happened. Oh my god, Ivan Romeo is in red. I gotta say, I did not expect that to happen on this stage. There is our man on the podium. Ivan Romeo is the leader of La Vuelta España 2026 after stage 13 to the Col du Tourmalet by 40 seconds on Juan Ayuso, 2 minutes 30 on Martinez, but I do think we're not going to be keeping this jersey for too long. Like, I said it during the stage, but I basically gave up on KOM in this stage. 24 points for Romeo, and the new leader is Carlos Verona with 36. But hey, instead of KOM, I've got a red jersey and a white jersey, so I'm not complaining. Look at this, how beautiful. After stage 13, Romeo in the lead. That I did not expect. Anyway, on to stage 14, which is once again a mountain stage, but I kind of feel like it will be going to the breakaway. And like, sure, we got in the breakaway while being a minute behind, but being in the red jersey, I don't think I'll be able to get in the break this time. So I think I'll have to try with the likes of Jakob Ommerzel. So, pretty rainy conditions in this stage. Samuel Fernandez at the front, so let's try and get him in the breakaway. Why not? We've got Romeo in the peloton. I need him protected ASAP by the likes of Kopetsky, for example. Or actually, I should not be attacking into the breakaway. I'll try to control breakaway formation to make sure that the breakaway is a small group. I think that's a better plan. Already 30 kilometers into the race and the breakaway still has not formed. Lots of teams trying to get away, but Fernandez is doing a fantastic job trying to keep the break pretty small. Slowly but surely closing in towards the first climb. It's Burgos pacing in the peloton now because they missed the breakaway. The breakaway is also falling apart, so I've got a feeling that the break might actually form on the climb. Honestly, what would happen if I tried to go in the break with Ivan Romeo? If this first climb blows up, then I'm actively considering that option, but for now it does seem that the breakaway has formed, even though it's like literally one rider up the road, Lascano once again, with 3 riders chasing. Did Samuel Fernandez single-handedly stop the chances for the breakaway? Honestly, it is possible because there's nothing happening on this climb with now only 1 rider up the road, which is still Lascano. This has been a super weird stage. Oh damn, this second climb is actually really steep, so a bit scary, but the tempo in the peloton is led by Yves Lampaert, and the gap towards the breakaway is kind of expanding to 3 minutes 40, so maybe Lascano will win again, but I don't care too much. He's on 30 minutes in GC, so not my problem. Anyway, 40 kilometers to go, 1 proper climb left at the finish, still in the peloton with 5 riders, so looking pretty good, and the tempo is going up by UAE Team Emirates, so the breakaway rider Lascano is on 2 minutes only now, so it's definitely gonna go to the peloton, the stage win. But of course, the big question is, can Romeo survive in red? Here we go, last 13 kilometers, the climb has officially begun, and I think my strategy is simple. I need to make sure I stay in the draft because it's not exactly super steep, but I also need to make sure I don't spend too much energy, so I think I'll be dangling at the back of the group. Wow, halfway the climb we are looking pretty bad. Romeo's energy is so incredibly low that I've got trouble just following the wheel of the peloton right now, but I'm hoping to stay in the wheel in the draft as long as possible. But I'm sorry, look at my energy right now. I can't keep going 85. I'm gonna drop right now. There's no decision here. I'm dropped. And of course, with 5 kilometers to go, already being a minute behind, I am losing my jersey today, but it's not exactly a surprise, is it? I'm literally riding on 67 effort on the last uphill segment, the last 2 kilometers, but we're getting hard dropped by everybody. Let's take a look at the front. Is it Ayuso? Yes, it is. We've got Van Gils on the right side of the road, Ciccone on the left end. It's going to be Ayuso taking it, or does Van Gils come around? Does not look like it. It's going to be Juan Ayuso winning on Lara Belagua and Romeo losing his jersey. So pretty sad day for our team. We're losing about 3 minutes on this stage, so not just our first place, I think we might lose our podium. Oh, actually, still in second place by 7 seconds on Lenny Martinez, so it's pretty close, but Ayuso is definitely ahead of us now by 2 minutes and 37 seconds. But hey, that's still a pretty fantastic place to be in after 14 stages, knowing that our goal is top 10, which is entirely possible. Okay, that is a weird stage. Maybe a versatile sprint or a puncher stage. The favorite is Axel Ross, and I will try to go for Matthias Kopecky as my versatile sprinter, but if that fails, it's gonna have to be Ivan Romeo. Well, Ivan Romeo being in the red jersey was a very short stint, that is for sure, but let's take a look at our daily forms. We've got Kopecky with a +1, so 75 hill stat. The final climb is not exactly super hard, so I reckon it's possible. Anyway, the final climb is coming. Kopecky not exactly at the front, but moving up slowly but surely before the climb starts, but not the best yellow bar at the moment. So worst case, we go for Serrano, or even worse, for Romeo. There we go. On to the final climb. The gap to the breakaway is down to 45 seconds, and I'm trying to keep our train at the front of the peloton on this climb. It's not the steepest climb in the world, but Kopecky is also not looking that fantastic. Ay, 2.5k to the top, and Kopecky is off the back of my train, and Serrano is also struggling, so I think it might actually be for Romeo here, and the breakaway has now been caught. We're moving over the top pretty soon, and I've basically got a 3-man train. Okay, it's now all downhill for the last 6 kilometers. We've got Perikas all out, but he's basically empty, so what do I do here? I'll go Omerzel 85. I can't go much more than that. Perikas out of the way. Can I up it to 90? I'll do that right now with 4 kilometers to go. We've got Serrano still in the wheel, so that is something. Kopecky is completely gone. Last 3 kilometers, 99 on Omerzel. Should I be sprinting? I probably should be sprinting. With Romeo already. Serrano is ready as well, but it's all downhill, so I can launch with everyone. I'm not in the perfect position. Wenzel is together with Kort Nielsen and so forth, so I bottled it with my positioning in the final descent, but the victory is gonna be for Urko Berare. The first guy that exited the descent takes it. Ay. I could have won that if I played it better. Anyway, finishing 8th, 9th, and 10th, not exactly a disaster, so it's okay. Still 2 minutes and 37 back in GC. And Kopecky is still 33 points behind in green. On to stage 16 then, basically flat throughout, but a single climb at the finish. The Beches climb. Mikel Landa is the favorite, but I think our plan is simply trying to go for Romeo from the peloton, because on 116 kilometers, I don't expect the break to win. That said, I'll try to send Matthias Kopecky in the breakaway to take the intermediate sprint. There we go, on the right side of the road. Kind of late because there's already a 3-man breakaway up the road, but I'm hoping I can manage to bridge, but Skjelmos is chasing me down? What? Okay, he's on like 32 minutes in GC, so that makes a lot more sense. There we go, now in the first group and 3 minutes on the peloton, so perfection. Okay, wait a second, with 30 kilometers to go, the gap to the peloton is now 5 minutes, so what if this breakaway actually fights for the win? Then Matthias Kopecky will have to fight Matthias Skjelmos a 1v1 on a 5-kilometer climb? That sounds very difficult.
12 seconds later.
Oh my god. I was so busy yapping about Matthias Skjelmos and Kopecky that I forgot to sprint at the intermediate sprint. So I literally got lost, but I still got 10 points, so that's kind of fine. But 20 would have been so much better. Anyway, 9 kilometers to go, the final climb is coming, and the gap is 9 minutes to the peloton, so yeah, Kopecky is fighting for a stage win against Skjelmos. Ay. Here we go, on to the climb. It's 5 kilometers in total, so I'll go 85 from the start. We've got people already attacking on the right, so I paused it for a second, but I'm now dropped together with Skjelmos, so this was not exactly the plan. Are you telling me following Skjelmos, the climber, on a climb was a mistake? In the meanwhile, by the way, the peloton is still not climbing, which is good because I want to focus on Matthias Kopecky in this breakaway, even though I'm getting 5th, let's be honest. I'm not winning this, I'm not getting a podium here. What a bottle job of a stage. I ruined this. In the last kilometer now, we've got Vader, Walker, De Lettre, and also Skjelmos is coming back as we speak, but Milan Vader is gonna be winning the stage from this breakaway, and Skjelmos, man, you tricked me. You blatantly tricked me, and in the peloton it looks like they have also started the climb, and ouch. Okay, we gotta try and move up because this is not a good position. To be honest, it looks like it's just one giant peloton finishing together, which I'm kind of okay with, so yeah, we're not losing time today. Lenny Martinez wins a sprint in the peloton. Ayuso's not even trying. He's like chilling in the bunch, and Romeo is not exactly chilling, but he's surviving. Like, the stage started off pretty perfectly, getting Kopecky in that breakaway, but then I forgot to go for the intermediate sprint, and on the final climb then, everybody attacked except for the best climber in the group, Skelmozo, which then dropped me, so I finished 5th in the stage, but at least Romeo did not lose any time, and Kopecky got quite a few points. We're now just 12 points behind Van Poppel, so we're really close now. And actually, it looks like there was a gap in the peloton of 14 seconds, so Ayuso loses time to Martinez, but so do we, so we lose our second spot. We're now 3rd. Definitely not the perfect stage. Oh no, it's time for the hardest climb in cycling, Alto de Angliru, and I'm so terrified. Lenny Martinez with 81 mountain is the favorite, and Ivan Romeo with 74 mountain stat, he's gonna lose quite a bit of time. So I think this stage is all about trying to survive within the top 10 of GC. But I think I'll once again try to send Kopecky in the breakaway for the intermediate sprints, and this time I won't forget about them. I'm sorry, but Matthias Kopecky is doing this on purpose. Look at him. He's once again at the back of the peloton, and I simply want him to get in the breakaway. Ooh, crash in the peloton. Ayuso's down. Juan Ayuso is down right there on the left. And the question is, will he get up? Yes, he does. That is kind of disappointing. Okay, Benji, now do not forget to go for the sprint. We need those points. There we go, 1.6 kilometers. There goes Kopecky on the right side of the road with his all-out sprint. We've got Verona sprinting as well, but an easy 20 points for Kopecky, so that's perfection. We're now in 1st when it comes to green in the jersey, 8 points ahead. But I'll try to survive this next climb to get to the next sprint too. And yeah, Kopecky is dropped, so there goes our plan. Anyway, the next 2 climbs are coming, Cordal and then Angliru, so terrifying. Meanwhile, Kopecky is waiting for the peloton where Romeo is sitting pretty chill so far, but only a 0 day, so only 74 mountain on Angliru. This is not gonna go well. Can I be honest? I think I'm losing my top 10 today. I'm literally already on 92 effort on the second last climb just to follow the group. That is ridiculous. That said, Romeo does survive this second last climb with quite a bit of energy left, but now I do want to recover as much as possible in this descent. But now it's time for the monster. Now it's time for Angliru. Look at the steepness. The climb is basically 70% black. That's insane. Jacopo Mosca is setting the tempo for Trek, and the breakaway is about 5 minutes ahead, but I don't care too much about that. Romeo is at the front, but I don't want to go too hard either. I'm gonna try and stay in the draft of this peloton until the steep section, and then I'll switch to doing my own tempo. Because on 15%, the draft itself matters less. There we go, the steep section is starting. We've got quite a bit of energy left on our riders, so I'm feeling pretty okay so far. 5.7 kilometers to go, riders are dropping left and right, Van Zevenand off the back, but Romeo is still in the wheel. But our man is struggling quite a bit as we speak, and we just got blocked by Torsten Tran off the back. That's a bummer, but draft does not matter too much on this segment, so it's all about staying as close as possible. Hikita, stop blocking me! Hikita, get out of the way! Hikita, please! Oh my god! Did you see that? We just lost 20 seconds because of that! Last 2.8 kilometers, just doing my tempo to be honest, but my energy is not looking too bright, so let's drop it to 73, something like that, maybe 72. We're passing riders, but not the best GC riders either. We've got Ayuso and Martinez roughly 2 minutes up the road, I think, and it looks like the stage winner is gonna be... Oh, it was Verona. Okay, the stage already ended. I didn't even realize, but doesn't matter too much. Come on, Romeo. It's all about keeping our top 10 in GC, and I think it's possible. The GC riders have already finished, but we are still riding as we speak in the last kilometer. Romeo's trying to spend his energy very wisely. Omerzal is definitely our best rider in this race. That is a certainty. Let's try and go now in the last 300 meters on 75. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. There we go. Have some red bar left, so could have played that better, but we lost about 4 minutes, which I think we're still in top 10. Juan Ayuso was the best GC rider on the road today, but we are still in 5th place. Ivan Romeo on 6 minutes and 42 seconds, so looking pretty okay for now. And of course, thanks to our breakaway, Kopecky is now in green by 8 points, but still 2 sprint stages to come. Like, results-wise, not a great stage, but I actually feared for far worse. I was not expecting to still be in the top 10 after the stage, so I'm kind of happy. That said, P5 to P10 is only 2 minutes, so we can quickly lose our top 10 here. And stage 18 is once again a medium mountain festival, but I'm actually considering going in the break again with Romeo, if I'm allowed to. Like, let's be honest, the best chance for Romeo to survive these last 2 climbs is by being ahead of the peloton in a breakaway, so I have to try. Oh no, a -2 on Ivan Romeo, so 73 mountain stat only. That's not much. Anyway, I'm trying the breakaway anyway together with Kopecky as a flat rider and Fernandez as domestique. And I'll try to join the break with Serrano and Omerzel as well. That would be nice. The first climbs of the day are starting, and the gap from the peloton to the breakaway, by the way, peloton led by Bahrain and UAE, the gap is a minute to the breakaway, so 32 riders though, so that's a lot. But of course, in this breakaway, Romeo is the only rider in the top 10 of GC on 6 minutes 42, so if the gap extends over 6 minutes, then our man will be in the lead again. Trying to stay in the first group over the top of the first climb. Kopecky also surviving. Wow, he might just be off the back. He's still in the wheel. After the first climb, Bahrain is still pacing with Mohoric, but the gap to the breakaway is extending to 3 minutes 50, so it's looking better and better. Romeo is 6:42 behind in GC, so not yet virtually in red. But I'm hoping the gap keeps growing, you know? But in this breakaway, no one's actually pacing, so I'm having to set my own rider at the front, Samuel Fernandez, and it's costing quite a bit of energy, but the gap has come down to 3 minutes now, so that's not great. Once again, trying to stay in the group on the top of this climb as everybody's sprinting for the KOM points, and that looks to have worked perfectly, but Fernandez is still at the back. Come on, don't get dropped, and he's still there. On the second last climb now, La Cruz de Linares, and the tempo in this group is actually quite high at the moment at the foot of this climb, so gotta make sure I follow right now. We've got 3 riders left, Serrano, Omerzel, and Romeo, so still looking solid, and the gap to the peloton is about 3 minutes and 10 seconds led by Bahrain and Trek still, so I'm still pretty worried. Like, I don't care that much about potentially losing the stage, but I am very scared that if we get caught by the peloton in the last 10 kilometers, that I might lose my top 10. That's what I want to avoid. In the last 1.4 kilometers of this climb, but my red bar is basically almost empty with Romeo, so I'm hoping that these guys have nothing to attack, but they kind of do. Come on, stay in the wheel, stay in the wheel, stay in the wheel. Looking solid. Omerzel needs to protect Romeo. There we go. Sit up on 85 at first, but then drop it down to 30 in the descent, 25 even, to recover as much as possible. Anyway, 1 climb left. The gap to the peloton is 3 minutes 30. Romeo and Omerzel still in the front group. Omerzel being the best option for the stage, but Romeo is our leader. It's as simple as that, and he's not exactly looking fantastic when it comes to his yellow bar, so I'm very scared. Wow, the last climb is about to begin with half a yellow bar on Romeo, so I think we're pretty much doomed in this breakaway, so it's all about setting my own tempo. Omerzel is protecting Romeo, that is his job on this climb. The stage win, we are uncompetitive for, so it's all about trying to stay ahead of the peloton, which is 2.5 minutes behind. And actually, Lenny Martinez and Landa are attacking right now in the peloton away from Ayuso, and they're about 1 minute 40 behind now. I'm trying to set my own tempo on 70, 71. I don't have much more than that. I am really scared that I'm gonna get caught by the peloton and hard dropped. Oh my goodness, we are getting caught by Lenny Martinez as we speak, and Ciccone is coming by with Martinez in the wheel, and Ayuso is right behind us. We've been caught. We've been caught with 4 kilometers to go still. This is gonna be a disaster. Our top 10 might genuinely be in trouble here. And here we go. We are off the back with 2.8 kilometers to go. Come on. Don't lose 2 minutes. Don't lose 2 minutes. Just keep going on. 70, something like that. We can't go much more than that. 70 might even be too much. Omerzel is still doing a fantastic job protecting us. Yes, people are dropping off the GC group. Ayuso has caught back to Martinez and Ciccone in the last kilometer, but we're 1.5 minutes behind. I think we are losing our top 10. The GC group, or whatever's left over, finishes on 1 minute 47 of Marco Frigo, and Romeo is 2 minutes behind that. Ay, 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 ay. We tried, and It massively backfired. There we go, crossing the line on 4 minutes and roughly 20 seconds. So that is so much worse than I thought it would be, because our breakaway looked pretty good until we got to that second last climb where Romeo basically got destroyed. Wow, dropping to 8th place on 9 minutes and 15 seconds, but still in the top 10, but only by 20 seconds. But hey, at least we're still in there. A couple of stages ago, we were literally in the red jersey, and now our top 10 is looking pretty poor, but there's only one mountain stage left, and being on 9 minutes means that I should be able to get in the breakaway again, hopefully, with a better outcome than today. But our next stage is probably a sprint stage, and Kopecky is 8 points ahead right now in that classification, so let's focus on green first. And actually, it's a completely flat stage, so that does benefit our opponent, Danny van Poppel, over Kopecky. But of course, I'm not giving up. I want that green jersey, so let's fight for it. Okay, at least Kopecky's form is still pretty good. 76 sprint stat, we can work with that. Like, the gap to the breakaway was getting somewhat dangerous, so I decided to put Perikas at the front of the peloton, and he's brought the gap down from 9 minutes to 6 minutes and a half, but he's now empty, so now I need to make the decision to put the likes of Tercero at the front as my next rider, but nobody's helping me. It's all on us. Actually, I decided to stop pacing in the peloton because I don't care about the stage win. The less riders that we catch from the breakaway, the less points there are available for the green jersey, so the less points Danny van Poppel can get compared to us. What I'm saying is, letting the breakaway win is actually good for Kopecky. But at the intermediate sprint, 5 riders get points, and the last rider, the 5th spot, gets 10 points, so I want to try and attack in the peloton with Belocchi and Omerzel before the intermediate sprint to make sure that we take away those 10 points from a rider in the peloton. There we go, Belocchi takes 5th place at the intermediate sprint, basically taking the last 10 points, which means Danny van Poppel didn't. Anyway, 40 kilometers to go, and the break has 8 minutes, so that's perfect. These guys are winning, taking away the first 4 spots of green jersey points, and now it's on me to try to beat Danny van Poppel with Kopecky for 5th place. The fight for the stage win will be between Max Walker, Edward Planckaert and Asparen, and actually, I think Planckaert has to be the favorite here. In the last kilometer, there goes Planckaert on the right, Asparen in the wheel, and Edward Planckaert wins. Now Romeo has to take over in the peloton for us. There we go in the last 3 kilometers. Serrano in the wheel with Kopecky as well, so that's looking pretty good. Van Poppel is on the left side of the road, but I reckon Serrano launches right now. Kopecky in the wheel is perfect, absolutely perfect. Come on, launch right now, Kopecky, launch right now. There goes Van Poppel on the right, and he's gonna take more points than us, but the gap will not be significant, I think. But he gets 5th place. We get 8th place, so I think we might still lose green after all that we did today. Wow, by 2 points we are still in green. That is super close with a single sprint stage left in this race, but Matthias Kopecky still vibing in that green jersey. But like, the reality is that Danny van Poppel is a better sprinter on the flat than Kopecky, so it's not a surprise, but I'm still hoping to beat him on the final sprint stage. But now it's once again time for a monster of a stage, stage 20, the last mountain stage of this race, a medium mountain festival with a billion climbs with Skelmoza as the favorite. But I'm simply gonna try to defend my top 10 spot in GC, which is a sponsor objective. I've got 20 seconds on 11th place, so the gap is minor, but I think the breakaway is our best option. But look at the tiredness on Ivan Romeo. That red line on the right, he's extremely tired, so I'm not sure this will go well. Okay, starting at the front with Romeo, Fernandez and Kopecky, so directly in the breakaway, that is perfect. Oh my god, Movistar is chasing us down? Really? I guess I'm gonna try it again. There we go, once again in the breakaway. But why is Movistar chasing me down? I really don't understand. Are they really doing so because Mühlberger is in 10th place in GC? That would be stupid. I guess I'll wait a little bit to see what happens with the rest of the breakaway, because this is not working so far. Called by Movistar again, and let's try and go again on the climb. Here we go, with 2 riders, Kopecky and Romeo. What happens now? We've got Movistar pacing again, with Enric Mas of all people. Okay, so the breakaway is not working, which was literally my only plan. I'll put Kopecky on protecting Romeo to try and make sure he saves and recovers energy, but this has not been a great stage for us so far. More people are attacking. Can I get Perikas in the breakaway? He's not exactly well placed for now. To be honest, only 9 riders up the road, and now Lascano is pacing for Red Bull, so it kind of feels like the peloton wants to win the stage for now. And I really was not expecting that. So yeah, I guess for the rest of the stage, our goal is to protect that 8th spot of Romeo in GC, 40 seconds on P11 Jai Hindley. We'll try our best and we'll have to do so from the peloton instead. Honestly, halfway the stage now, and so far it's a really easy stage in terms of tempo, so all my riders, including Kopecky, are looking fantastic. And of course, the more passive the race is, the better for Romeo's top 10. And with about 70 kilometers left, we are 50k away from an intermediate sprint, so I'm trying to get Kopecky over these climbs as much as possible to hopefully take some green jersey points. Come on, Kopecky, this is the final climb to survive, and we are doing it, so that is good, but Van Poppel also survived, so we gotta beat him at the sprint now. 7k to go towards the intermediate sprint, and Van Poppel is losing loads of positions, so I'm trying to push it right now with Pelocchi to try and keep him that far behind. Let's do 90 when it comes to my effort. Every position we are ahead of him before the sprint is a help. Last 2.8 kilometers, I don't see Van Poppel anywhere. We've got Serrano on, let's say, 99 as we speak with 2 kilometers to go. He can start his sprint lead out right now. Kopecky in the wheel will beat him as well. Calm down. Kopecky takes the points. I think he will. I don't see Van Poppel, so there we go. I'm not complaining. We're now 17 points ahead of Van Poppel, so that's perfect. But now in the last 30 kilometers as we speak with 2 minutes towards the breakaway, so the breakaway is definitely not winning. Romeo is sitting in the peloton looking pretty perfectly for now, so I'm feeling good about this. So far, the stage has gone so much better than I expected. But I have to recover as much as possible right now on this descent because the final climb is actually quite a bit steeper. I was trying to get water to the front before this final climb, but it does not look like that is working. We've got Romeo sitting quite nicely. Van Zevenand now pacing for Landa. We've got 2.7k only to the top, so we gotta try and go 87, 88 to follow, I think. There we go, the tempo is going up. There goes Landa with the attack. We've got Martinez and so forth trying to follow. I'm gonna try and go 92 right now to stay in the wheel of everybody making their moves. It's 1 kilometer to the top. Come on, stay in the group. Hopefully no group gets away. It's Landa alone. Martinez is the chaser, so 2 riders ahead of the peloton, but we are in the peloton, so that is good. Now, Pericas can get to the front on 85 with Romeo in the wheel, and let's try to recover a little bit. There we go, in the wheel of the group, and it looks like Martinez and Landa have been caught in this descent with 9 kilometers to go, and we are still here. I'm gonna try and put myself in the wheel of Ayuso, I think, with Pericas, because I expect Ayuso to respond to all the dangerous riders, and Romeo looks to be good enough when it comes to energy to at least stay in the group at the finish line, so that's good. There comes a move on the right side of the road. It's Mühlberger. He is in 10th place, so I need to respond to that. We've got Kort Nielsen responding to that. Who's chasing? It's Soler for UAE. He's doing the work for us for now. I'll let that happen. 3 kilometers to go now. Let's do 99 on Pericas and get to the front. Come on. Let's do that. Pericas has no engine. He is so incredibly slow. Look at him. We are being capped while going all out. Romeo is right here. I'm going to go into the wheel of Toniatti. Can I do that? Or should I choose Ciccone? Ciccone is pretty fast. So let's go to the wheel of Ciccone. Actually, just sprint. Romeo. Kort Nielsen is going to win. Romeo tries to come around and we have caught Mühlberger, so that is good, but what a irrelevant stage. I was really expecting this stage to be so much more important for GC, but no. Which means Juan Ayuso is the winner of La Vuelta 2026, and Ivan Romeo is gonna finish in the top 10, in 8th place. But the green jersey is not secure yet. 17 points is our lead on Danny Van Poppel with Matthias Kopecky, and I'd like to keep the jersey. Only 100 kilometers, 1 intermediate sprint, but it's Kopecky time, right? Danny Van Poppel is the better sprinter with 77 sprint. But actually, Matthias Kopecky is in pretty fantastic form for the last stage of this Velta. He finally reached a fitness peak today. So if there's one day we can beat Danny Van Poppel in a flat sprint, it has to be this one. Starting off with a +2 on the race, so 76 sprint stat once again. That's looking pretty solid. I was hoping for a bigger breakaway than just 2 riders though, with a gap of 25 seconds on Tratnik leading the peloton, so it looks like Danny Van Poppel won some points at the intermediate sprint and they're catching the breakaway, so we're gonna be sprinting for 20 points maybe. 6 kilometers to go, setting up a full-on lead out for Kopecky as we speak. We've got EF trying something on the right side of the road, but Van Poppel is already in position. So Romeo takes over on 99 with 4 kilometers to go. Kopecky in third wheel behind Serrano. 2.2 kilometers to go. Our leadouts are next to each other. 1.8. So I'll go with the attack with Serrano on full because he can't sprint before 1.5k to go. Kopecky launches right now. Van Poppel went early. Van Poppel went early. I believe I can. I thought I could beat him. But which means we're still about 14 points ahead in green, so we've got a bit of a lead. But of course, there's 50 points for the winner and 30 for second place, so if Van Poppel wins the stage, we lose green completely. So that scenario is not allowed to happen. Anyway, last 17 kilometers, setting up my sprint train as we speak. 5 riders in my train led by Omerzel at the moment, then Bellocchi, Romeo, Serrano, and Kopecky. So that will have to do. Wow, Matthias Kopecki's position is absolutely horrible with 6 kilometers to go. Bellocchi is about to take over from Pericas and Gigel on Kopecky as we speak. Come on, buddy. You gotta move up, otherwise this won't happen. He's almost back in the wheel, but where's Red Bull? Van Poppel is almost in the same position, so it's not a complete disaster. Romeo's ready to take over at about 3.2 right now. Let's do it right now. He can launch his sprint already. Why not? Serrano in the wheel. Bellocchi out of the way. There we go. Serrano, come on. Get ready. Launch right now. Kopecky in the wheel. Van Poppel's on the ride. We gotta go at 1 point. Right now. Kopecky was getting blocked by O'Brien. Van Poppel's gonna win. Van Poppel's winning. Van Poppel's winning. Van Poppel's won. I'm really sad. I am really sad. I cannot classify how devastated I am to lose the green jersey on the final stage. Even if I came second, it wouldn't have mattered, but it looks even worse by the fact that our boy Kopecky finishes 14th. Literally behind his lead out, Javier Serrano. And of course, this means that Danny Van Poppel is the winner of the green jersey. We get second place, which, a stab in the heart, but second place is still quite a bit of UCI points, so that's me trying to cope. Now, we did succeed when it comes to our 2 stage wins and also our top 10 in GC with Romeo, but it was kind of close in the end. 8th place, 40 seconds ahead of 11th. But hey, we tried to get a top 10 last year, we failed, and this year we succeeded. And our man also gets 5th place in the white jersey. Lastly, at the start of this video, I was considering going for KOM, but that was kind of unrealistic, so we finish on 3rd place, which is a bit of UCI points, I guess. Overall, I'd say that's a pretty great Velta for us. And getting that top 10 in GC was a sponsor objective, so we succeed in that. But our season objective of finishing in the top 10 of the World Tour ranking, that was a bit unrealistic, so that won't happen. That said, I do want to take a look at the World Tour ranking to see where we are at after this Vuelta. Oh wow, we move up to 12th place. That's 6 positions higher. That is crazy. We're now just about 1,800 points away from the relegation zone, so I think we're pretty much safe. Like, it was pretty scary being in 23rd position midway the season, but we fought hard every single race to try and get UCI points everywhere, and we're safe now, so we're gonna be a World Tour team in 2027. Now, the rest of our season is actually smaller races that I tried to join to try and get UCI points, so I don't think I'll ride Slovenska and Langkawi on camera, but I'm going to Belgium for the week to ride in the Turbo Cross of Average Rob, so that's gonna be terrifying, but it also means that I probably won't have another Sirocco video in the next week. So I'm actually considering that when I get back, I might do a live stream doing the final races like Slovenska, Langkawi, also Lombardia and Guangxi, just to finalize the season before we start the new season in the next actual video. Anyway, drop your take on that in the comment section. But I guess for now, that's the end of today's video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye!